I see we got about 20 of us on here right now, maybe a little more. This is the February 10th, 2025 engineering meeting. Say good evening to number 21 there that just joined us. The agenda, I'll post the agenda right now if it's still here. What we'll talk about tonight, go through the introductions, and we'll talk briefly about the board elections, which just started today for the excuse me, for the voting members. And then we'll all go down through the items listed here on the agenda. So before we get heavily into the activities tonight, let me go through introductions. Thanks to Floyd for hosting the Zoom meeting tonight and for recording it. Floyd has a recording of all the Zoom meetings that are available, and he passes that on to Bill Thomas, our webmaster, and Bill is able to archive this information as well. So we'll introduce the board members right now, and our current board members are Don Latham, Paul Sabone, Rick Hambley, Bill Miller, and Dan Lane. I'm not sure if Dan was going to be here tonight or not. Dan told me earlier, a couple days ago, he was sick, had COVID relapse, and he would not be on the Zoom tonight. That was about 2-3 days ago. He had passed that information on. So then myself, Bill Miller is the vice president. Floyd Glick, I missed Floyd. Floyd is our secretary. He's hosting the meeting, and myself, president treasurer. So I see we have Mark from down under with us tonight. Good evening, or good morning, good day, whatever the case may be in your area. And Derek Brady from up north in what part of Colorado are you in, Derek?
I'm in Hudson, Colorado.
Hudson, that's right, Hudson. I knew it began with an H. I kept thinking of something else there. Hudson, okay. And let me see. We have a lot of Colorado Springs folks with us tonight. I have Dayton Jones up there in you in Lyons, Dayton?
Well, I'm near Lyons, up on a ridge above the town.
Okay. Greg Say, you're located where? I got it on the roster here somewhere. And Ted Klein, and you're located up there as well, right?
Loveland.
In northern Colorado.
Loveland, yeah, right next to the Wyoming, North Pole line.
Yeah, okay. And Robert McMaster's up there in Idaho.
Yep.
Good to you, Robert.
Yep.
And Chuck N0NHJ. Not sure where you're located without looking at
Glenwood Springs.
Glenwood Springs, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, you came in from the northwest part of the country out there, Washington State or somewhere out there.
Chuck, what's your last name?
Kimball, Kimball.
You migrated in from Washington State?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was up in the Northwest for a few years for a job and just moved back to Colorado last summer.
Okay. And you were talking about moving again, or are you going to stay in Glenwood?
Should be here or the Front Range for the foreseeable future.
Okay. Glad to have you with us. Got Mike Parsons, who does a lot of the YouTube videos up west of Colorado Springs. Bruce Kilpatrick, who's done a lot of help with us down on site. You're up in the Denver area. Who have I missed here? Let me see. Doug KF0PCW, Doug Lieber. Our would you call yourself the educational expert here on the hosting the last open house we had with the high school students? And Jim Barnett, WB0GMR here in Colorado Springs. Glenn Davis, our tracking software guru, and Alex, our hardware guru for the EVE system here in Arizona. I'm currently in Mesa, Arizona right now. Be here for another month and a half. I got here last Monday. I'm using my Starlink system for internet here at the RV park. Starlink system works well. My brother is down two or three spots down from me, and he's connected to the Starlink as well off my Wi-Fi. So it got plenty of bandwidth and plenty of range on this router, Wi-Fi router. So I'm pretty satisfied with the Starlink connection I have. Very easy to set up, and it works fine.
You have the mini?
No, no, it's the Generation 3.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, that's the introductions. Anybody else want to say something before we get started on the agenda? The Board of Director elections, I sent today out to all the voting members a ballot. Please fill that out as soon as you can and get it back to us. I believe the deadline's towards another 15 days or so. By the end of the month, we need those ballots back. And then once the ballots are counted and tallied by the Board of Directors Elections Committee, which consists of Bill Miller, Rick Hambley, myself, Dan Lane, and Floyd's in here as well, since he's not running. He's bowing out of the position of the Board of Directors and Secretary. But he will be still hosting, he said, the Zoom meetings as required, as necessary. So if you have any questions on the ballots or the attachments we put on the ballots that were emailed out, please contact the Board of Elections Committee at BOD-elections@DSES.science. So the next on the list is science fair judging. This is we kind of bypassed this that last time around. Bill made a quick plea for help. So Bill, you want to go ahead and start talking about that?
Yeah, we're signed up for science fair judging, science and engineering fair here in Colorado Springs. And last year I think we had 4 or 5. I can't remember if Gary was on or not, but we had at least 4 people, and it took that many to just get through about half of the projects. And I'm looking for that many again. So far, Roger Oki is signed up, but I don't have anybody else other than myself. And so I'd really appreciate it if we could get 2 more science fair judges signed up.
What date are we looking at?
It's Saturday, the 22nd of February. And it's about, I think it's about 10 o'clock, but I'll send out a full packet.
And this is at the University of Colorado.
Yes.
Campus.
Yeah. Yeah. UCCS campus on Austin Bluffs.
Okay. I attended last year, although they wouldn't, since we already had enough judges, they were very picky on who else they would let in there during the judging process. So I snuck in, took a couple pictures, and then snuck out. But we had Dan Lane, Bill Miller, Floyd, and yourself, Bill. I believe we had 2 judging teams.
Yep. Had 2 teams. We went around and we didn't pick like the life sciences projects. We just kind of bypassed those and went for more of the anything that has to do with stuff that we do, so engineering, electronics, microcomputers. There was a lot of kids that had Arduino and Raspberry Pi projects that were pretty cool. The girl that won the top spot did basically a electromagnetic survey of her ranch under the power lines, with the idea that the power lines may be affecting their cattle. And so had a lot of data on measuring the emissions from the power lines and the field in between the power lines and the ground. So we thought that was pretty neat, and she did a really good job of taking data. So I think she was the top spot. But it's interesting because these kids are doing stuff that you'd never even think of, and it's inspiring. And every time I go, I learn something new. And I've actually used some of the science fair projects to build projects. So it's kind of neat. So anyway, I need a couple more people to sign up.
And you're looking at what, about 4 hours of time frame?
Yeah, it's about 4 hours. Start at about 10 in the morning and run till about 2, and then we turn it over to to the judging committee and everything. And we're doing special events. So they have judges for the actual fair part of it, but we do special awards, and we announce those, and I give certificates. I've got maybe I can show you. I print out certificates. I don't know if you can see this.
Yeah.
So and I might need some help with the printer too, because my printer's been on the fritz lately. But what I do is I take a parchment paper, usually of some color. This one's green. And I put a nice border around it, and I print the student's name and what the science fair project was and what the award was. And so they get a nice certificate and then a check from the DSES. And I usually go to the award ceremony, which is the following week, and make a big deal about DSES at the award ceremony because there's a lot of other people there from industry and such. So far, that hasn't panned out really well in attracting new members from the local businesses and members from the school districts. But I hope that will actually happen in the future where we'll get some more people into it.
And we do award monetary prizes as well. Last year, I think total prize we gave out was about $300.
Yeah.
350 maybe, somewhere around there.
Yep.
And we do have an education fund. We've had a donation 2 years ago of a $1,000 grant from the MLB Foundation through the Denver Foundation. And we put that money in a separate checking account, savings account. And then again this year, a couple of weeks ago, we just received another $1,000 grant from the same organization. And which reminds me, I had to send out another thank you donation letter to that to her. So that's another $1,000 that I put in the educational fund, and we use that fund as well to help out in the recent open house we did for the Los Animas High School group of 18, 20 folks that came down there a couple of weeks ago that Doug and Paul and Bill and Roger and Ray assisted in. So that helps out in that effort as well. So although it didn't really cost us that much money other than a few dollars in electricity maybe and a few sodas here and water here and there, there was very little cost involved for the actual DSES part of it.
Well, and Rob also donated the chairs. That,
Oh yeah, Rob donated.
down there.
Yeah.
So we got 25 brand new chairs from Costco that are pretty comfortable to sit in, and Rob did the donation for the chairs, so we had a place for the students to sit.
Well,
Yeah.
hopefully those chairs are reusable.
Yeah.
Reasonable. I have an idea. You may want to use them a few weeks down the road there, Rob.
Right.
So anyway, again, please, if you can, here in Colorado Springs on February, you said 22nd,
22nd, that's Saturday.
Saturday.
That's Saturday after next.
You don't have to know, I tell you what, it's amazing just walking through there, seeing what these kids do. And again, you're just asking questions to them. They basically do all the talking to you, and you if you have any questions for what they're briefing you on their project, then you ask those questions, and then at the end of the day, you write those notes that you took for each person you judge. How many people you normally look at? 10?
Oh gosh. Oh, way more. We usually do probably about 20 to 25 projects per team.
And this is random. You just randomly pick them out.
Well, no, there's a list, and
Okay.
we go through the list at first. We
Oh, that's
organize.
right. They have a list of what their projects are. Yeah.
Yeah, go through the list, kind of, and they're also in sections. So they have a coding by what they are, whether they're life sciences or engineering or whatever. It used to be just science fair, which was you had to do a project that had a hypothesis and you'd prove the hypothesis and all this, and it had data. And now they actually do more engineering than science fair. The thing before was you couldn't have a demonstration, but now you can. You can do a demonstration of some engineering concept by doing an engineering project.
Okay.
So that made it a little more open. So yeah.
Okay. Again, think about this. Give Bill a holler, and we'll be sending out some reminders leading up to that date to make sure we have at least one or two, preferably two judging teams.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gary and I used to do it alone, but it's gotten quite a bit bigger since they added the engineering part to the fair.
Yeah.
So it's probably double the size it was when Gary and I were doing it by ourselves.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Next on the list is changes in the Wi-Fi network at Flishner. Roger Oakey went down several days ago, last week, and made some changes in the Wi-Fi. And I'm not sure if anybody's prepared to brief that or not. Roger's not here. Roger is also on the board of directors for the Pikes Peak Amateur Radio Club, and their board meeting is tonight. And their club meeting is on this coming Wednesday. So
I can brief a little bit on that. It's
okay.
Pretty simple. He did a lot of cleanup. Originally, we had the modem router Wi-Fi device in the trailer. And what he's done is he's taken that, left the modem part in the trailer, and then he's moved the hardline Ethernet over to the building and put the Wi-Fi hotspot in the building. And so there's no longer a hotspot in the trailer. It's in the building, and it has, I believe it has new passwords or passcodes. And I can't tell you right off the top of my head what they are, but we can post them down there in the building. And then that works good for the cameras. He made sure that the cameras worked, and everything still worked as it did before. So we haven't messed that up. And he also cleaned up a lot of cabling we had in the trailer. There was bus strips plugged into bus strips plugged into bus strips. So he cleaned all that up, and he turned off the switch in the trailer, which we thought might be making some noise, and is just using the 48 port PoE switch that's in the building on top of the console for all the switch routing. So I did quite a bit of cleanup, and it's a lot simpler than it was.
Yeah, he turned off that big switch in the rack.
Yes. And so now the bunker is a direct connection off the modem router in the trailer, and the building and the pedestal are a direct connection off the modem router in the trailer. But
In the bunker.
in the building or in the trailer, and that gives us the control of all the Ethernet in the building and the pedestal from the building. So the bunker's as it was. There's no difference in the bunker.
Connected directly to the router in the trailer.
Yep.
And eventually, the plan is when we get the fiber installed, hopefully by the end of the year, we'll have that direct connection for the fiber to the new building. And Bill has made arrangements for all that to come in at a certain location, and everything we moved out of the trailer for sure and into the building. So the Wi-Fi router, the modem, my understanding is still in the trailer.
Right, and we're going to get ES Tech, the internet company, to move that and give us another line over to the building. And
yeah, they said they could do that before we get DSL. I don't know if we want to pursue that or not.
Yeah, I don't know. I hate to do it twice.
Yeah.
It's working the way it is right now, and if we do get the fiber, it'd be nice to have the fiber come all the way into the building. Then they'll probably give us a new modem for the fiber.
Yeah, it'll be a new modem.
But I'm not counting on the fiber.
Yeah, it's
I don't know.
They're doing a lot of work down there. There's been a lot of fiber stored in a lot of cell phone storage sites when we drive by those areas on the way to Flishner.
Right.
In about 3 different locations, but all that rolls of fiber is gone, so it went somewhere.
They're putting in telephone poles all the way down Road K, towards our place.
They're putting new lines in there.
I didn't see anything. I just saw this big huge truck with the poles are dropping off. This is one of those machines that drops a hole and drops.
How long are the poles they got?
They got to be, my guess, 30 feet.
Oh, then that's not the high voltage line. There's supposed to be a high voltage line intertie system on that. I saw the red flags on Road K there, heading east-west from County Road 19, between County Road 19 and 20. They had those red flags, marker flags.
Yeah.
Or electric for the new poles, but I wasn't sure. I'm surprised they're putting new poles in there.
And there's also one of these concrete bunkers on the corner with a manhole cover on it now on corner of 19 and K.
That'd be indication of an underground system for fiber. Okay, well, that's interesting. They would go poles and underground as well. A work in progress. So we'll see what goes on. There's also reported about a year ago or more that the wind turbine project for Southeast Colorado, to include Kansas, New Mexico, Oklahoma, was eventually put 4,000 wind turbines in that part of the area. Right now, it's scheduled for the eastern part of Kiowa County. And the initial plan is we're still about 35 miles from the proposed Kiowa County wind turbine farm. So I'm not sure if that's going to be proceed or not with the current political aspirations out there saying no more wind turbines. So we'll see what happens on that project. But the intertie was supposed to support all that new wind turbine project as well. So a lot going on in that part of the world, whereas before there wasn't much going on down there. Now there's a lot of activity. Okay, building update. What's left to complete?
Oh gosh, a whole bunch of stuff. Let me pull this up. Let's see. Let me share this. There. Nope. It doesn't show anything, does it?
Doesn't show anything.
Huh.
Oh.
Double click, enter all full screen mode.
Isn't that interesting? And I can't unshare it. Oh, wait a minute. I'm looking at the thing I'm trying to unshare. Well, that was a mistake. Hang on a sec. Let me see if I can get this to give me back the plan. I can see if I'm still online.
Your black screen still there. There. Okay, you're back unshared.
Let me get this right. Hang on. Okay, let's try this one. Yeah. Now you should be able to see that full screen.
It's on.
Okay. Okay. First thing we need to do, one of the things we need to do is get more water. Abraham Fasick is the guy down in Kiowa County that's a friend of Dave Moulter, and he was the guy that hauled water for us. We need to check the cistern, see how much water is in it, and get some more water. We had about probably somewhere around 800 gallons, 750, 800 gallons. The tank is capable of 1,250 gallons. And we've had quite a few events since then. The open house, people have been down on EME. We had the school group. We had the various people visiting and a lot of work going on down there. So we're probably getting a little low on water. We need to install a line cover for the last heat pump lines. There's one set of heat pump lines that are outdoors that are exposed to the elements, and I need a cover for those. We had covers for all the others, but we're missing the cover for that one, and it's about $110. We need to get the final plumbing inspection. I don't know exactly how we do this. I guess I can call the original plumber, which was Taylor Plumbing out of Lamar, and have them arrange it, but I think it's about $250 to get that inspection. We already have a certificate of occupancy, so I don't even know if we need this, but to have everything tucked and tied, we probably ought to get it. I need to buy and install all the Cat 6 receptacles and home run plugs and wires. All the wires are there. We just have to install the receptacles in all the boxes, and then at the home run position have a set of plugs that will plug short wires into the switch. And I'm estimating the cost of all that material is about $450. Need to install the Ethernet switch at the home run position. This would be a PoE 48 port switch, 24 or 48 port switch at the home run position over on the wall. We have telecom racks that people have given us. I think we've got 2 or 3 of them. One of them's brand new in the pedestal out there, and we could bolt that to the floor and install the rack in that, or the switch in that. But we might just want to put it on a plywood wall board and mount it vertically. And that would take up less space and would just be a thing on the wall, and we could wire everything over into it if we wanted to do that. And I've also got a small rack that we could bolt to the wall and just have it off the ground and bolted to the wall. So we need about $50 in hardware to get that done. We need to locate, like we were talking about, ES Tech relocating the modem into the building. get an estimate from them. I think we've got about 5 IP cameras. Myron gave us some, and Martin Flynn at InfoAge gave us some. We'd like to have a few more. They're about $100 a piece. Need to add a video server for the camera users, but we could probably make this video server that records the cameras also like a utility computer for everything else. Like if we put a weather station in, or if we've got other experiments running, we can probably all run it out of this one computer. So anyways, software, I don't know what the software costs on this. We might get some free software that records the cameras. We don't have a computer, probably cost about $450 for a computer that would do this. Doesn't have to be anything really elaborate, not a gaming computer or anything like that. Just needs to be able to record the streams. We hooked up the IP phones that Martin sent us. There's one in the bunker. There's the phone number is 7168. There's one in the control room that's 7160. I've tested both of those. We still have one to hook up. We're going to put that in the, I think in the pedestal in the tower. And I also have one that didn't ring through. The 67 number, 7167, had a problem. So I brought that home and I got to troubleshoot it here at home, find out what's wrong with it. It might just be a setting. In fact, it's probably a setting in the IP phone. And we also have 2 ATA boxes that each have 2 lines apiece. And so we could hook up, we got 4 phones, we got 4 lines on the ATA box. We could hook up 8 phones in the site, and we still wouldn't use up all of the IP or all of the phone numbers that Martin assigned to us through Cheyenne Wells Telecom. Martin has a license that he's a professional telecom engineer, and so he just reserved us a bunch of phone lines, which is kind of nice, and we didn't have to pay for them. We need to buy and install 11 window blinds to put over the windows. Part of this is to keep the sun from coming in, and also when we do presentations, we want to be able to run the projector. And so it'd be nice to have the window blinds there to darken the room. And also we need to put on grates or iron grates or protectors over the windows for security. And I've been looking for those. I'm guessing they're about $200 a window. We got 12 windows.
Hey, Bill?
Yeah.
Will we be able to wash the windows with those grates on them?
Yeah, what I was going to do is try to, some of them are hinged where you can unlock them and hinge them out, and then you can get in and wash the window or service the window. So I was looking for something like that.
Yep.
We bought the 25 folding chairs from Costco. Thank you, Rob. That was great. Need to seal the flashing plate on the back slab on the north side of the building with butyl or tar sealing tape or caulk. When the water comes in there, it backs up against the building and it runs under the seal plate. I sealed it with butyl and tape when we built the building. That was the first thing we did, and put that under the bottom rail of the building structure. And there's areas there in the back where it didn't seal between the slab and the bottom rail. And so it leaks. So we need to go along there and caulk that whole thing so it doesn't leak. And then regrade the lot to keep that water from running away from the building on the north side. And if I can get Kyle Barnett to do that, I'm estimating he probably charges about $1,000 to come out and regrade the site and redo the grade of the what would you call it, the pad around the building. We just did the science class from Los Animas. We had about, I think we had 17 students and 4 of their teachers and chaperones. And consider that a real success. And you should all go read the report. I think the kids got a lot out of it, and I think we got a lot out of it. And I think we're going to do probably quite a bit more of that. Doug Lieber's going to set up more of those sorts of things for the local communities down there and their science classes. Then we've got science fair on the 22nd. Like I said, I need 4 people. probably cash prizes about $300. And then we need to host Rob's Los Animas. I'm not sure I spelled it right. I didn't spell it right.
That's all right.
Anyway, we're going to host their, I'm going to call it the Santa Fe Alumni Group. They have Santa Fe um,
Trail days.
Trail Days. Yeah, Trail Days. And that's on the 25th. And you're all invited down there by Rob to come down and whoop it up in a regular, 1800s cowboy Santa Fe Trail event. And they have a lot of things going on down in Los Animas in the town. And there'll be a lot of, like a parade and food and all kinds of stuff. But then we'd like to have some of the people that grew up down there come back, and their alumni group from that area come around on the 26th, which is a Saturday. The 25th is a Friday where the Santa Fe Trail Days is there. But the 26th, they're going to bring them down to our site, and we're going to give tours, talks, EME, and it's going to be pretty much like what we did for the students for the Los Animas Science Group, but this will be adults. And Rob's going to cater it, and it'll be pretty interesting. We'll probably make a lot of additional contacts for resources and, where do we get things? We got people in the local area. It'd be nice to get a few members closer to the local area so that we have people on site. So any questions about any of this?
And that event, Rob, will start about what time and end about what time?
Well, it's pretty flexible. I just thought we'd meet around lunchtime and have a lunch meet and greet and get that out of the way. And then you guys do, I guess, probably, well, depending on how many people, I guess we'll probably have to split off in a couple groups and you guys do your thing. I haven't really officially announced it. I was waiting for the go ahead from you guys, but I've already got 28 people committed.
Wow.
And so Lord knows what's going to happen once it's officially announced. But I've made contacts to the Pueblo Tent and Awning Company. In case it does become a bigger event, I'll probably rent one of those tents, and then we'll bring some more tables and chairs from the community center and maybe set up the whole eating thing out in the tent and just have chairs in the classroom, and we get more people. Or I don't know, we got plenty of time to talk about it, but the thing's really taken a lot of legs already. And
okay,
so
I think most of the board was in agreement that we could do it. They're concerned about alcohol, but you're not going to have alcohol, so that'll be fine.
Well, we can arrange it, Bill, if that's what you'd like.
It's my birthday, so I wanted alcohol, but I was outvoted.
But you guys' concern about the alcohol brought a bunch of us a little bit of a sense of pride that you guys can think that we're still capable of doing those kind of things.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's all I got on all of that.
Yeah.
So that's great. Yeah, you've got approval.
As far as
All right.
members go, I hope to be down there myself. Maybe we can get, Bill will be there, maybe get 2 or 3 other folks, DSEM members down there to help Rob out in the tours and the briefings and whatever needs to be done down there. So also there'll be, as Bill was saying, some good contacts being made. At the open house we had in October, we made some contacts. And another gentleman from Los Animas, he joined the organization, and he was offering some mowing services down there. So we need to I'll get in contact with him, and as the growing season comes along, we'll contact him and see if he's still interested in helping us out mowing. But there may be other folks with this group that Rob's going to host that we can rely on or tap into as well. So thanks, Rob, for organizing this. Hopefully it'll go off successfully. Weather will be good.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
Yeah. And, I forgot to mention when Bill was talking about a lot of the activities going on there. Hopefully everyone has seen the 11-page 2024 end of year report that Bill authored in a PDF file. It was posted on the website. It was emailed to a lot of folks. So please look at that. That'll give a good, and I've got a lot of positive comments from several members, old time members of the group about what we're doing down there. Skip Crilly emailed me, said he was very happy to see what's going on down there. Skip Crilly was the gentleman who offered to give us a bunch of money to put 22 power poles and 9/10 of a mile electric wire in back in 2017. So he did a lot of work with our dish once we got electric power on site. And he was real excited that we're continuing with the new building there and doing bigger and better things. So that's good. And so we got a lot of positive feedback from that report that you wrote, Bill.
Good. That's good. Haven't heard from Skip in a long time. So
Yeah, we need to see if Skip's interested in doing some of his work from our site like he used to do.
okay.
We're gonna be doing moon bounce too, Rob.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
everything comes together.
Make
and
sure you
works.
put that
Yeah.
on there, you know, hear your voice off the moon.
I didn't look to see where the sun was gonna be, but the moon, I think, comes up at 5:30 in the morning and goes down at 8 at night on that day. So it'll be out all day.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, the Dubus contest is the first part of April, isn't it, Paul?
Yes, the 5th and 6th, I believe.
And that's a CW sideband only contest.
Yeah.
Which we're leading right into the DSE Earth EVE project. We can talk about that amongst those involved if they want to. Paul, you can talk about the electrical upgrades to the dish if you can. Ray, you can come on board and talk about what you've been doing with the feed down there currently for pulsars. I know you'll be soon changing that out. So I got to run down a couple spots from the my camper here and visit with some friends. So I'll be back here shortly. So I'm going to turn things over to Bill and I'll check out here and
All right. Let's see. I wasn't expecting that. Okay, so
Howdy.
we talked about the building. Let's see, Earth, Venus, Earth. So first, Paul, let's open with the Dubus contest. How many sessions of Dubus are there? Is there only one?
No, there's a weekend for each frequency band. So like there's one, I think, this month for the 2304 band.
Oh, okay. What are the ones that we're participating in?
1296. That's the one in April. The
So we're only doing one of the Dubus contest dates, right?
yeah, it goes over the 2 days. It actually starts Friday night. And
What day is it?
okay, so it's April, so Friday, April 4th in the evening.
Okay.
There's some time, and then we have the Saturday, and then it ends, well, let's put it this way, it's Saturday evening, Friday evening, Saturday evening, whenever the moon is there.
Right.
And I think the moon goes away around 11 o'clock on Sunday morning. So I think that's
So in Sunday, probably. Okay.
it'll be a short one. Time for
And
breakfast.
that's code only?
Yeah, primarily code. There's not too. I was kind of surprised we were very little sideband. Only some of the bigger stations have sideband, and we've already worked them on CW, so they don't count twice. They only count once.
Hmm.
So it's but they have a very strange. You get a multiplier for each different suffix.
Yeah.
Prefix. I'm sorry, prefix. Is what I'm trying to say. Prefix. Yeah. So.
Okay.
It's kind of interesting in the US, and we'll be pretty strong. We'll probably be the strongest signal on the band. People can work us with a wet string hanging out their window. So I'm sure we'll be able to.
And so in this process, you're assuming we're going to have the new Eve transverter and amplifiers up there, right?
You better.
Okay.
Even before this.
That's right. So with that in mind, okay. So I guess that leads us to Eve, and maybe you want to give a quick update on where we are in Eve.
I can talk about the power a little bit. I was Cody Miller, no relation to Bill. is doing the electrical work, and we're speaking to him today, and he's got one of those cherry pickers, and so he's been putting power up through the pedestal and from the building, and that looks like that's coming along really well. Tomorrow, I believe Roger and Roger and Ray and maybe someone else, I think, I don't know.
RC may be going down.
Okay, RC will go down, and you guys can tip the dish over so that Cody can get at the pedestal. Sorry, at the feed point, and install the power connectors and everything else. We will have so we're going to be having two 240-volt independent lines running up to the feed at 20 amps each. We're also going to have a 110-volt plug running up there at 15 amps. So we'll have lots of power, and there's also going to be a double. Let's see. I'm sorry. It's a 4-aught wire. What big that big around, going from the feed point all the way down to a series of ground rods, which will circle the pedestal, and eventually be connected over to the new building. And so that's going to give us a really, really good ground system for the feed. Am I forgetting anything? So he's going to be there tomorrow with the cherry picker. He said that, you know, if later in the week, if we want to use it to get up on the pedestal for some reason to do some work on the jack screws, he said, you know, a week costs the same as 3 days, and so he said we could, you know, have it right up till Friday. So if we want to have that feature or that capability.
I was watching the cameras today, and he was running some big wire, laying out some big wire to pull in, but I didn't see the picker. And
I
so
couldn't see it either. I think it was he parked it on the other side of the dish.
Oh, so he's already rented it, and it's there.
Yeah, he said it came in around 10:30 this morning.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I don't think it's that expensive.
Right.
It's there.
Yeah, I don't remember what we paid for the one we got out of Springs, but it was seems like it's $350 or something for 2 days or something like that.
Yeah, so I'm figuring it's still well within budget.
Yep.
And what else? Maybe Alex wants to give a little bit of an update on, maybe he's got a picture of the new. He did some modifications in the last couple of weeks to the power input to the EVE.
Yeah, I did want to say too, just before we start, I did pick up the auxiliary amplifier today, or the backup amplifier. So we bought an extra amplifier for the EVE package. This is a 1200 watt amplifier from a German company, and I did pick that up from the post office today.
Excellent. That's great. We also have we got some things from Martin in New Jersey. He had a clamp for at least a hand tool for the CAD welding that we're going to be doing to hook up the 4-aught wire to the ground rods.
And Roger has that in his possession with the other
Yes.
pieces. Yeah.
I told him take it down and show it to Cody. They don't have to buy one. I told them that we would buy we would like to own the CAD welding equipment that they get, and we will pay them for them. And that way that we've got those for doing the towers and anything else we want grounded really well.
Oh, I thought you were going to do that all as a function of this project.
Well, I don't think we want to have these guys doing it if we're not ready for the other stuff.
Oh,
But
okay.
we can work the money either way. It doesn't matter. But I just figured we'd own the CAD welding stuff, because you can only do so many CAD welds, and then you got to buy some more CAD welding powder.
Huh.
what else was I going to say? We also had a meeting, speaking of Eve, we had a meeting with the folks at Windaloo, which is a radio astronomy dish in 25-meter dish in the Netherlands. And we had a great technical discussion. And we learned a lot of things. That's for sure. But these folks really want to partner with us, along with the folks at the Stockert, Germany dish. There's a fellow by the name of Wolfgang that Ray knows, and through Sarah, who's also very interested in helping us receive the signals off of Venus. So we have some ideas. Rick's had some great ideas too. So about how we will work with these guys. I don't know. Did you want to talk about that at all, Rick? Or I don't want to put you on the spot here because I didn't give you a chance.
We're not really ready
Okay.
to talk about it.
All
Just
right.
get our head around some of the problems we might have and get solutions in advance. So we'll see.
Okay, maybe for the next meeting. Thanks, Rick. Alex, do you have any new pictures? New poster pictures? Hello, Alex. Are you there? You may have put him to sleep. Anyway, Alex is moving forward. He's got a couple of designs for the combiner. The combiner that he first started off with, he's decided to drop that in favor of a couple of other designs which are more efficient. And so he's going to be working on those this next couple of weeks. Alex is coming down to, coming up to Denver on the around, like he said, February the 26th. So he'll be here for some testing up in Platteville at AA0RS's Dave's location there, and do that for a couple of days. And then he's once after those 2 days, then he's going to bring Eve down to Haswell around March the 1st. And for the next couple of days, we're going to be doing some installation work and installing it in the feed. And if we need, we'll see if we need another cherry picker to help him with that installation, depending on how far out he can reach around to put the feed in.
I'm here if you want.
Wait, you're there. Great. Go ahead.
Yeah, I couldn't find the unmute button. I'm dialing from the phone, so it's too complicated. It's easy to build the system than just unlock the phone. So, anyways, thanks for speaking. Yeah, I indeed planning to come to Platteville for RF testing. I'm gonna drive, taking the whole system with me. Going to Platteville, we'll do some RF testing in there because there is no capabilities here in my lab to run full power. I do have 240 volts. I bought inverter specifically for this case, so I can invert power from 110 to 240 to test the power supplies, but they're not enough power to run the full RF power. So, and I don't have a load that's going to hold that. So anyways, the RF portion going to happen there. If everything's successful as planned, we'll just move to Haswell. I don't know how long it take us in RF lab. I reserved 2 days, but if we'll be able to do in a 1 day, so we're going to spend more time in Haswell. More days we have there, more tests we can complete. So I would need help there from Roger and Ray to mount the feed and do some real measurements, sun noise measurement, moon noise measurements, and perhaps do EME. I'll run now some echo mode that we've never done this before, so we'll see how the system is reliable. As today, I'm still working on the system. There's a lot of small pieces that needs to be finished, mainly on the protection side, programming the overcurrent over voltage, and something is not cooperating, so I'm trying to fix that. So that's normal life. The feed is complete. It looks beautiful. I need to find the button how to switch the camera so I can show that off. And I also finished the combiner. I'm gonna test it, see how it works. That's the last piece that I assembled. It's one of the complicated things because the designs exist, but not for this power. So I have to come up with something and make sure that it's gonna work. But the only one way to find out that would be in the lab in Platteville, Colorado. As far as goes, we have about 2 more weeks to go to finalize everything, and then we're set to go to Colorado. So anyone want to come and help us out or see the system? I also will provide some training. Unlike Diane package, the system is 100 times more capable to do things. And there's a lot of buttons, a lot of things moving up and down, a lot of telemetry. So it would be great to provide that training. And that's, yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Paul.
I'm so excited about this because this is the first time we'll actually be I should have mentioned our electrician is also running up two armored fiber links all the way from the building all the way to the feed. And right now he's got all that stuff up in the I don't know what they call that spot, but it's like where the dish meets the pedestal. And then when we lower the dish down, he'll be able to put the rest of it, and he's going to be putting it into 3/4 inch poly what do you call it, white pipe conduit all the way to the feed. So it'll be good there. We'll have two of the one is a spare, and one fiber will be doing all the communications between all the PTT, all the metrics will be coming back down. Everything that we possibly need there. So I'm really excited. Oh, he's showing some pictures there. Maybe I can do that on full. I don't know if you can. Does he need to share that, or can we just do that with our view?
You can just click on the image and then you see it full screen.
Yeah, I can't share this because I'm running on the camera. So yeah, Bill is absolutely right. Just double click on my camera. It's going to be on the full screen. I don't know about resolution. I'm calling from my phone, but supposedly 4K camera. We'll see. So this is the last piece I assembled. You guys have an idea. These things are not exist. You can't walk in and buy it. I would love to, but so this thing designed and supposed to hold 3,000 watts. And we'll see what's going to happen. We don't need that power, but I'd like to have some extra. So the hole's there for ventilation purposes because it's going to be on the back of the amplifier. So we're going to have some airflow going through. And then it has a copper bar inside. So the holds all this power is actually 180 degrees combiners. Anyone that ever built it. So it has the big connectors. Those are not N-type. Those are 716 DIN connectors, pretty big. This is the whole feed. We can see the size. This is the size of my head, actually, maybe bigger than my head. So this is the whole feed. Assembled, tested, excellent performance. And this is my workbench. Sorry for the mess, but this is the working mess. It's supposed to be like that. So I think there's a lot of metal here. I'm currently doing some testing here. So this is the whole system. 240 inputs, 2 RF outputs, and then I'm using this inverter that gives me 240 and 110 volts all at one. So it's a very handy thing to test the systems like this. So this is the main unit. It's hard to see, but there's a lot of things in there. This is RF module. It works great. This is 2 bands, so it's capable of 2 bands. It has a built-in load. It has a relays. It's the most sophisticated part. This whole thing is unlike any EME systems. This is specifically designed for EME, high power as well for DSES use. All
Alex-
information.
Alex, you said the RF module, is that the actual transverter?
That is correct. This is the actual transverter for 23 centimeters. This is 13 centimeters. Everything routed here. See, a lot of is actual configuration. I'm simulating the entire system right now. So everything is switchable. Everything is, you can switch, turn and off things. And well, but nothing's stopping me to power the system on. You can hear the voice sound. Okay. So it takes about 2 seconds and the system comes alive. So everything you see here controlled by this tiny wire right there. It's called fiber optic. Everything controlled by one piece of wire that goes to the network switch right here. And from network switch, it goes this regular Ethernet cable to my computer. And you can see there's a lot of applications. Raise the voltages. You're going to read the power, the currents. You can see the temperatures. There is all the temperatures. Also some digital input, so we know if it's really engaged or not. So unlike any other systems, this is the most sophisticated I ever built personally. But there is no limit, obviously. So anyway, I don't want to take too much time. There's a lot of fun here, but I can't transmit all the satisfaction from this small camera.
That's
Go
good.
ahead, Paul.
Looks ready to launch, Alex. Can we put it on a Starlink and launch it?
I have a lot of other things to launch. This is not only one project, Bill. I have a lot of other stuff that needs to be done. Anyways, all right, thank you guys. If any questions, let me know later.
All right, very good.
How big a monitor do I need?
As bigger as better, you know.
I mean,
So let's say this. To observe the parameters, it's cool to see all these numbers, but they're absolutely not necessarily for operation. As long as the system functional, the way how it works, it's a fully protected system. If one of parameter goes out of the tolerances that I've specified in a program, the system goes into fault mode. So I did put huge called piezo sounder, piezo element.
Yeah.
So you can even hear it if it's system installed in the hub. The high pitch sound from the piezo element is so high, you can hear it even in the control room. I don't know about the weather and wind condition, but what we can do, we can actually put the bigger one. So that means when the RF is on or some issues occur with the voltages, it will go to alarm and fault. So you will see this immediately because if you have a speakers connected to your computer, Paul, the software that I'm running will use a woman voice to indicate you what actually happened. So computer will talk to you, say, hi SWR or high temperature power, please check. I can program any voices you want. So you'll see it's something that you've never experienced in your life. It's pretty cool system.
We may have to train the people in Haswell that the sound that they're hearing is not a tornado warning.
Yeah, that's true. I also put the ultra bright LEDs, not just the light, the ultra bright lights. So you can see them as well. And the whole hub gonna be like a UFO lighting up.
Yeah, that'll be pretty interesting to see that thing lit up at night.
Let's hope we don't see it lit up.
What color is the flames? Yeah.
Can you make the woman's voice Scarlett Johansson, like Simone?
So also, I wanna mention I have a 4 commands extra. I don't know. It's just for future use. So I have 2 Arduino boards. One is inside the hub, inside the system, and the second one is in the control room. I use one channel for PTT. I mentioned before we don't have a hard line for PTT. We use a fiber optic. So I have an extra 3 channels. So literally you can switch on and off anything you want in a hub. Let's say I proposed to Paul the other day, let's put a small camera and mount on the back of the cover of a hub, pointed away, exactly same center point of our dish focus. So every time we point antenna, let's say to the moon, we'll see a moon on the display. So we can turn on and off camera. We can just turn on and off, let's say, a light that's going to be remotely controlled. Just keep in mind, I have an extra 3 channels to turn on and off any loads on the hub.
Yeah, Ray and Roger are going to be putting a vent on the outside with maybe a fan inside. At least that was what Roger was discussing, and he said we just have to figure out how to turn it on and off. And I said I think Alex has a solution for that already.
Right, and not only that, I also brought up other day to Ray about having adjustable platform for the feed, so we can move feed back and forth. That's also can be done by that. So we don't need to run any physical lines anymore. Everything could be done through the fiber optic. Besides those extra 3 channels, I have additional 6 channels inside the control that can be used for that. It's just a literally relay. Whatever you want to put on the output of the relay contact is up to you. It can be 24, 50 volt, 110, or 12 volt, doesn't matter. So you can remotely control the focus motor actuator to run the feed back and forth. That also can be done remotely. So anyway, we have a lot of capabilities and capacity on this system, and there's absolutely no limit, as I mentioned.
Hey, Alex, Skip here.
Yes.
Um,
Hey, Skip.
you know me. I've done a bit of this up in my feed. I've had, I got picks and stuff up there in the feed, and how RF proof is all this stuff going to be? I know you're building it all together, but you've never had it in a strong RF field yet, have you?
Well, yeah. When based on the on our previous experience with Diane wasn't shielded. Diane was just a Pelican case, and everything was inside on the SAP chassis, but that wasn't shielded. We didn't have any RFI or EMI issues running the high power.
No, I don't mean on the receive, Alex. I'm talking when you're transmitting. You have a pile of strong RF field up there, and
that's what I'm getting.
I've had things go nuts when I've had things up in the feed like that and I won't even have, and I'm only running, not even half what you're gonna have. So I assume you're working on that, with good shielding and all that. So I'm just mentioning.
Yes, exactly. I'm a EMI RFI engineer, and I do this for a living. I'm shield satellites. So obviously there are solutions. All boxes are aluminum. So the aluminum is a good attenuator. It gives at least 40 dB attenuation on 1 gigahertz. Yeah. I seal all holes. I'm one of those guys that loves aluminum tape. I hate copper tape. I cut my fingers many, many times. So I use aluminum tape. When design is finished, everything is taped.
Yeah.
Combiner, even feed, all boxes. So I don't have any gaps or any potential slots, we'll call slot antennas professionally, that equivalent of a quarter wavelength that allow any RF to go inside and screwed up. All interconnect cables are mainly low impedance and are shielded as well. So as a designer, I try to implement as much as I can. But once again, there is a no 100% guaranteed. That's where we have to run the test to identify any potential weakest areas and implement the solution, which is very simple. It's wrapping the aluminum foil around the box and cables, and it solves any problem. Did I
Well,
answer your question?
Well, it all sounds good, but you won't know 100% until you get it up there and try it. So hopefully got good luck.
Exactly.
Everything will work fine.
Yeah, and also we rely on the good grinding path. That's why I told Paul before, we must have, I did not recommend, I say is must. So we should have, we must have a good grinding path because we need to have a nice common mode noise filter, which should be to the ground. And essential grounding because we need to prevent, RF, Skip creates currents. So
That's right.
if we have a bad grounding or a high impedances, it will create tons of an occurrence in there and potentially voltages based on the impedance. So we don't want all this voltages and currents floating on the surface supposedly be grounded.
Yeah.
So sanity check, if the grounding is bad, nothing going to help you.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not sure about putting a camera on the outside of the feed though. That get a good camera. Some work, some don't in RF fields, I guess. So that's something else to try.
I used the cameras in a box and running high power on the RF testing, and we never had a problem. So especially camera on the backside, the beam width is very narrow, and we're in a near field. I don't think it's going to be issues, but once again, the system is capable to put the sensors. We can run the first try on the high power, and we use these sensors to measure what kind of currents and voltages we experience at the hub to plan accordingly.
Yeah, no, sounds good. No, I'm just mentioning, so I'm sure it'll work.
Are you coming down?
Me?
Yeah.
I wish.
Well, come on, it's a direct flight.
Well, Canada's at war with the US right now, so I don't know if I'd make it across the border, so we'll see.
You have to sneak across.
Yeah, sneak across and I'll get deported.
Exactly.
Anyways, don't want to talk about that.
Nope.
I'll
All we want is your oil. Come on.
I'd love to come down, but I can't see it March. I don't know. Oh, hey, anything's possible. We'll see.
All right.
But you guys are gonna videotape the living daylights out of all this, aren't you? And make a good YouTube channel.
I'm gonna try.
Too much RF.
We need a few guys to stand around. We need some videographers. So maybe we have some members that are good in video. So I'm sure we'll have a few of those guys there to make a really good YouTube video. We'll also have to have a paper that we write on this thing at the end of it, like all the things we did and all the things that we had to overcome, which is going to be pretty interesting, and how we fix them.
Alex, you should. I know you get busy, you don't think of it because I'm the same way when I try doing stuff for YouTube, but take lots of pictures of your testing and all this stuff, and give it to whoever can put together a YouTube channel. I mean, I'd do it for you if I was close by, and it'd make a fantastic video. I mean, the stuff I put up on YouTube, I get huge comments on it. And man, this what you guys are doing it'd be unreal. So
well, Skip, this is exactly. So we have a good teacher, and you are one of the greatest people that can publish all these technical articles. I always enjoying watching the presentation, your presentations, and also YouTube. So anyway, what I'm also doing, I creating the drawings of the systems because, I'm getting older and I tending to forget things, unfortunately. This is what comes with the age. And I used to keep everything in my head, and I'm wondering right now why I don't remember what I did yesterday. So I started putting this on a piece of paper and creating drawings because today I'm there, tomorrow I'm not there, and someone needs to troubleshoot, and we have no paper. So besides that, I'm taking photos and some videos. We'll all dump in one folder. So we have that because ISM is complicated. It looks easy for me at the very beginning, but as far I'm going, as it seemed like I'm putting a lot more stuff, but it's all needed. And you know, I have some redundancy as well. So if one doesn't work, you can bypass and move on. But all things that I put so far, they are essential for the purpose and where I'm sure the minimum interaction with the human and the system would be. So I don't want to hear any more of the problem with the like Diane package we had. This doesn't work. This doesn't work. Here, the system will tell you exactly what's happening and what you need to do.
Yep. Well, yeah, I find that very helpful. The simple system I have, I can look at my one screen and it can tell me all sorts of things, what's going up at the feed, and really helpful for troubleshooting instead of having to go up there with a voltmeter. And mine's a lot easier to get at than yours is. So sounds good.
Who knows, in a couple of years, we'll have AI cheap that we can install inside the EVE 25 and asking questions, AI will provide the answers. So anyways, you know, that's a strong possibility.
You've never heard of the KISS method, have you, Alex?
Go ahead.
KISS, you know, keep it simple, stupid. That's way out of your league.
Oh yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, I thought about this, but I thought maybe it's something means something else. Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah, trust me, I'm doing for myself as keys as possible.
Yeah, just remember that most launch scrubs are caused by the instrumentation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but the professional part of me telling me that I shouldn't do this to things that been funded and you know it should have. So I'm putting maybe things that like putting the temperature sensor on the voltage regulator, putting the temperature sensor on the transporter, but it actually tells you the picture. If you look at all this data, you can draw entire picture of what's going on actually there without going there. If something happens, you know what the area it happened. So I try to maximize those kind of small things, but very useful because I do have a capability to edit them. I don't need to redesign or rebuild something. It's already there. I just need to properly install as a system level. And so far it's been working out. So anyways, it's taking too much time about this. So anyone can feel free send the email and I can send a bunch of photos if you're interested.
And the pictures, yep.
Yep. Okay, well, that's the last thing on the agenda. It's open discussion. Does anybody have anything else that they need to bring up?
Yeah, I'd like to remind folks that there's a ham fest this coming Sunday, North Denver. The Rocky Mountain Ham Swap Fest is Sunday the 16th, and we will have 2 exhibit tables there, and myself and probably some other members will be manning the tables for the Ham Fest. And I think it opens at 9 o'clock, which means if you actually want to buy anything, you need to be there by about 9:01 in the morning.
Yeah. Or as if we're part of it as a vendor, you want to be there at what time? 8:30, 8 o'clock?
Yeah. I think I'll check when it opens, but yeah, we'll probably be setting up around 8.
And this one's in Brighton. And
it's at the Adams County Fairgrounds.
yeah. I last year when I tried to look that up and to drive there, you got to be careful because the maps will send you somewhere else. So just keep in mind that it is in Brighton and it is at the Adams County Fairgrounds out there. And I can't remember the exit, but for us, we'd take 470 around to the Brighton exit. Or actually, it's not the Brighton exit, it's the exit, I think, before that. But it's a little, you got to look up the right thing in order for your GPS to get you there.
So since Bill mentioned about Hamfest, I forgot to mention about Hamfest too. Also upcoming weekend, we have a famous Yuma Fairground Hamfest in Arizona. It's the biggest one in Arizona. Last 2 years they were shut down because they didn't have volunteers. I've been participating as a vendor for years, and this time I got personal invitation to join back. So I actually reserved space for DSES, hoping that Myron will join me, but I've heard that he can because he'll be out. So I'll be there. I'll get some stuff from Myron, booklets. I do have a table, so it's you can check on the website. There's a Yuma Hem Fest in Arizona. It's going to happen this coming up weekend. I'll be there only Saturday, early morning as a vendor, representing my company, and I'll get back home on the same day evening.
Okay. Open discussion, gentlemen, whatever you want. Or we can be done early.
I'd like to know what dates Alex will be up here doing things so I can put it on the calendar to help out and to participate in whatever he's going to do to get Eve set up.
Okay.
So I'm planning to come on February 26th. That's the day. Well, that's Wednesday, I believe. The Wednesday I'll be driving, so arriving Wednesday evening to Platteville. On 27th and 28th, I will be at Doug's
Dave's.
Sorry, Dave's lab testing. And then next day or same day on 28th, I'll head down to Haswell, and I'll spend there 1st March and 2nd there. If everything is done, I'll drive home back on 2nd. So those 4 days, 27th, 28th February, and March 1st and 2nd, I'll be in Colorado.
I live close to Platteville. I'm right on Highway 85 by the fairgrounds there. So I would be happy to come up to Platteville and give you a hand or whatever you need.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'll be with my friend because that's kind of long drive, about 14 hours. In case if we need to rest, he'll take over driving. And also he's a RF engineer, and he helped me with some modules here. So I'll be with me, and yeah, if you can come and join us, why not? That's going to be very helpful, and also we'll provide some training on answer any questions. If everything going to be done on time, we'll just go to Haswell and spend more time there.
This is all with whoever, when the eve actually takes place, are you gonna be broadcasting on internet like Zoom here or something like that for people that can't make it to come watch? Is that possible?
We will discuss operation part after conclusion of the system, because the system isn't ready yet. So we want to make sure before we're gonna start arranging everything and making promises, we want to make sure the system is 100% operational, right? Things could happen, and that's why I like to keep this until the last moment. It would be great. We're going to have a local recording and documenting this. We will arrange the online streaming, either on YouTube or any Zoom or WebEx, any other platforms, and we will let others know about the link. So I know you very interested to see this in real time. So, but anyway, we'll think about something, and we'll get this done between Paul, me, Bill, and others.
Sure, sounds good. Yep. Also, let me know when you are up at Haswell there to test this thing, and if the moon's around, let me know. I like to hear the echo.
Yeah, and that's the goal. I already outlined the agenda. What we're gonna do first is gonna be measuring the receive part. making sure that everything within expected levels. If there is any differences or inconsistencies, we need to figure out why before we're going to fire up transmit. And the last thing we're going to do, we're going to start looking for the stations to want to run the test with us, and also want to document the echo levels and compare with expected. So I know exactly precisely what my level should be at this powers. If everything checks out, everything is working well. So yeah, definitely we'll let you know when we're going to be ready to run the actual test.
How many dB are we above Diana or Diane?
Well, Diane wouldn't be happy to hear that, Bill, but so just take 100 watts, right, and compare it to 1,000 watt as he's in the logarithmic scale,
okay.
right?
Okay.
So
That makes sense.
it's 50 dBm, that would be the 100 watts, and then you have 60 dBm, that would be 1,000 watts.
About 10
So
dB
and then
above.
and yeah, so it's about 12 dB difference.
Okay. Well, that's quite a bit of added to EME, right? So we
Oh
should
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. When it comes to logarithmic and dBs, 3 dB, it doubles the power. The just 3 dB just doubles your power, doubles your signal. If you look at an S meter, and when you see the station coming 5.7 and then 5.8, the difference between 5.7 and 5.8 is just 6 dB. So 5.9 and 5.920, the difference is 20. Now you can hear what's the difference actually from 5.9 plus 5.20. 20 is very strong. Same thing on the moon bonds, obviously. So that's why the echo test will be very helpful to understand what actual echoes are. So we never run this with Diane package. So I'm looking forward to do this with this system, because as soon as the EVE 25 ends, the system going to be used for EME purposes and other science things that I already also have in my mind. So we're going to be using the system pretty often.
good. Yeah, I'll have to arrange to get you the spare amplifier when you're up to Platteville.
Yeah, that would be great. I do have other spare parts with me. I'm taking as well. We'll write it down on the list of parts we have.
Yep.
We don't have power supply. I think what we need to consider at some point to buy one extra spare power supply, because if pallet goes away, we can replace. If something happens with the power supply, 50 volts one, we don't have a spare, so we're going to be just running one amplifier. But in this case, we need to modify the system. It's also doable. But having spare amplifier will be also helpful. I will mention this over email.
You might mention that all this is done under a ARDC grant as well, for those that don't know that.
Yeah, that's correct.
So we appreciate that from the ARDC group. Very good. Okay. Excellent. Anything else, guys? I think that's about everything on the agenda and a few discussions. I don't think we've got anything else, and Myron's not back yet. So it's your floor. Whatever you want. And free to drop off if you want.
Bill, I'm going to stop the recording.
Yeah, go ahead.